everyone and welcome. This is Classic Car Friday at the Jaguar Somali Hill Climb. The top 10 has been decided and we're very pleased that you've also decided to stay with us because it's come down to just the last 10 races with their beautiful classic cars, the voice of South African motor racing, and I dare say at the same time African motor racing too. Roger McCleary has joined me in the hot seat. Roger, it's an honor to have you with us.
It's very kind of you, said Arnie. Thanks very much. But it's lovely just to be here. And the city, you know, it's fantastic, is how Naarden has recovered. 11 months ago they had this huge, 1,000 houses gone. And you come through Naarden, and look, you still see a couple of houses, but you look at the scenery around, it's all green, it's grown over, and they've got a big tree project on there to restore trees and that. You know?
And in fact, that's one of the charities that the Hill Climb aims itself towards. They're hoping to have enough money to have planted at least 1,500 trees by the end of all of this, which I think is fabulous. That is terrific. So there is the race car, one of the Jaguars that's been turned out in this lovely livery. So we've whittled it down to the top 10, Roger, and if we take a look at them as one or two cars take the run up to the top and take one or two of the celebrities who are with us up for a run as well. Franco Scribante, Ian Schofield, Peter Jenkins, Graham Nathan and Charles Arton make up the top 5, and I think we know who'll get there the fastest, but boy, the competition's going to be tough.
It's, you know, they all say we're just here for a bit of fun until you're standing on the start line and then you see that horns come on where they start to go. That car, that XJ is actually Terry Grant, who's going to do two-wheeled, going to take a Jag up tomorrow's day on 2 wheels all the way up the hill. Now he's an international stuntman, he's very good. So he's just giving a couple of rides. I've got a whole lot of VIPs. I must say, Jag get down to bringing visitors down. They really enjoy this whole thing. It's been fantastic having part of the scene.
So the first one of the cars on the line now has been brought up, and this is competitor number 10, if you like. We'll whittle our way down to 1. This is car number 28, Mike Ward, and he clocked himself a time of 50.843 seconds to get into the top 10 and the shootout. So this is a beautiful car as well, and I love how it's turned out. In fact, every one of them, I think you look at it and you just marvel at it. This is a Lotus Ford, the 1.7 litre 4-cylinder 1999 model. So this is the first run of the top 10.
And the Lotus 23 was well known for sports car racing and long distance racing too. They're getting them lined up. Once they get on the line, they just come one after the other, I must say.
Yeah, they do get them started very quickly, and they get up there very quickly as well at the same time.
You know, the thing is they don't have a second chance. You know, practice. You arrive here, those white guys in their white overalls. That pit takes about, will take about 90 cars. And they've got to shift them all out for tomorrow's King of the Hill. Those guys get that, they're about 3 to a row going down the pit there. They build that in a month or so, that whole pit. And then when it starts going, they get those cars out and up to the line. They're fantastic. No practice, you know, they just arrive and it's a team that just does it. Well, they're very, very good, I must say.
Roger, you've been involved with it for a while, and as this now is the start of those top 10s, what attracts you about this?
I think motorsport ought to have been attracted for like 60 years, but only I think it's got to appeal to the senses. I think we've lost a little bit of that internationally as Mike Ward gets away. You've got the hearing. You can hear those engines at work.
Gorgeous.
You can used to smell Castrol oil, and the speed they go through corners. This type of thing where you see them, they can lose and drift. These other ones on these super slick tires, they don't drift or anything, you know. And those are the top drivers in the world. It's the real emotions of being close to it. And of course the competition, you know, I mean, everybody says, you just go around and around the circuit. It's not like that, Arnie, you know, you've got your own goals you want to achieve in preparation. This car here, you see Arnold Schatz and Basil Foreign, this is based on a GTA, which actually they started developing in South Africa. That's Trevor Tuck, he's the main alpha man now in the alpha player. He's always waving at people. He's got time to wave. But he's sort of based the look on a GTA. That was Basil Foreign and Arnold. Arnold is actually here's the Grand Marshal. And it's wonderful to have him, and has he got stories to tell? I mean, he started in 1960, and he's raced with everybody. Isn't that's a classic car? It doesn't tire the shape of it, does it?
Gorgeous.
And don't say it looks old-fashioned.
No, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And that Julia is absolutely flying along as well. Remember that is now the 9th fastest car out of all 64 that lined up at the beginning of the day. And look at the beautiful line he's also handling through there, tight as it comes.
It was good to see this morning they took the bonnet off and took it over to Arnold to sign it. With a so There's that whole tradition with the Alpha, which is fantastic.
So then, car number 24, this is Andre Besaidnot, and he's got a list of cars longer than your and my arm and a leg put together.
He has, and he also owns Veltefree and farm in Stellenbosch. Peter Tief's original house where he started a great trek. Andre, he's a car enthusiast, and he's got a museum of racing Porsches there, and he also has a man cave, don't tell me, with a Schumacher helmet sign and an Ayrton Senna helmet sign, and he has 2 Jimi Hendrix guitars in his man cave. I mean, that's the highlight of his life.
And then he does this for fun. This is the Carrera RSR Turbo, dating back to 1975. Beautiful car as well. And bottom screen, race car number 35. This is Josh Dovey, and he clocked 49.73 seconds earlier today. Another car that's ageless, absolutely
it's
ageless.
Janetta. We hadn't heard of Janettas.
Yeah.
You know, there's the brothers, they call the Walker brothers. They started in England, same time as Colin Chapman's with them. Then he sold the company out, and they've got these long distance cars which are doing well out here. You thought, where does Janetta come? They've been making sports racing cars since the 60s. You know, I mean, they've been around a long, long time. Isn't that a little beauty? From 65, eh?
Yeah, quite right.
Isn't that a little beautiful looking motor car?
The
Doesn't date.
G4R. No, it doesn't date.
No,
I just said to Ian Shrewsbury earlier, you look at that design, that's still pertinent today and still beautiful.
Yeah.
Now here's a real shaker. I think Roger and I are going to be quiet when this one leaves the line because it's big and it's like the guy inside it, Peter Lindenberg. This is race car number 22.
Yep.
It's gorgeous. Listen to this as he goes.
Roughly. It's, you know, if you don't get off the line there, what
Yeah.
they get about 5-6 meters to get going, then they time you. So you can get the clutch out and go. If you mess up the start, you can never catch it up yourself. You can do what you like.
It's gone. Well, Peter did look like that was just a little bit of a sluggish start. I think he missed his timing there with the clutch and the petrol. The GT350 though from 1965, it's a gorgeous looking thing. It's a car on steroids, that thing, isn't it?
And Peter's had 9 ops this year on his hips and his. He's been declared dead twice, you know, in powerboat racing. Remember those?
That powerboat racing accident of his, the second one, was an absolute horror. This is Charles Arton in the Datsun 240Z, the 2.8 litre 6-cylinder, also a beautiful looking car and a gorgeous engine under there too. Let's see how he handles it in the first 2 corners.
He's quick. Charles Arton lost 3 cars last year in that fire. Remember, there was a car transporter taken back to Cape Town, and it caught alight just a month before the big fire here in Nisa. And he's got a car collection sitting in an own Cape, and he lost 3 very, very valuable cars.
And
He's
they
won
weren't
here
insured, by the way, because you can't. What do you insure it for? You can't replace it. Here's Nathan again. This is Graham Nathan, and those, I don't know. He must have a mate somewhere in a tire factory. There's no other way. So here's Graham Nathan now, and he's off the line. The 4th fastest man, car number 14. The stats on this thing: the BMW E9, 3.4 liters, 6 cylinders in there, batting away. And Nathan has been very aggressive all day today. He's provided the 4th fastest time of the day. Let's see what he can come up with now.
Yeah, he's a real racer, Graham. He prepares Volkswagens. His workshop's just short of Kyalami. And he's prepared cars for Peter K. Eddy's the sponsor. Here's another little Chevron B19. Oh, he wears 19, that's his number. But that is Peter Jenkins.
Yep.
And another fantastic little sports car. I mean, those are what they call the Derek Bennett cars. The man who designed those cars actually got killed in a hang gliding accident, but they've kept those cars going, and they're still competitive and fly along.
This is the B19, and this dates back to 1971. That's the first time you would have seen it. If you're old enough to remember it, that is also just classic racing car lines.
A most effective car. You know, to look at it when they came out for the ground out Kalongi. It was boringly quick, you know. He got on with the job, and always was in the results.
Here is Ian Schofield, who clocked the 2nd fastest time, and this shape too, absolutely timeless. Roger, it's a beautiful looking car. That gold is so effective.
He's the man who sponsors the InvestChem Formula 4, and he races himself and brings people from overseas. And when they go to the Formula 4 Festival, that's got Alex Bruckner, just honouring Alex, who ran Kyalami for so many years. And that car was driven by Nels Niemann, actually from the Free State.
I remember Nels.
You know, and unfortunately, he got killed in these mountains in an aircraft just coming out of Georgia Airport. But you see, look at the different aerodynamics in the front. They've got a band to hold up the wing in the front. I mean, I think they should get back to that, actually.
It looks lovely.
But
so that is
the star.
The Ford BDG that was, but here is, as Roger McCleary says, the star. This is the B19 Chevron 4. Just listen. We'll let you listen to this as it goes. If you fancy your eardrums, you don't want to be too close.
It goes through your head. I'm
Right
telling
through.
you, it just gets so low. That car was driven by Mike Howard and Paddy Driver, and John Love in days gone by with mine. I mean, those
My
cars have
word.
got history. And he took it back. I think it cost him $500,000 to do the chassis with a couple of tunes. I said, where did they get that kind of money? No, we had to straighten it. That's unbelievable. These things are so valuable, and here they're gunning up the hill.
Listen to it go. I must say, as a little boy, that's one of the memories that I have of racing cars. That Gunston orange and the stripe down the middle. John Love, like you say, from Zimbabwe. And
Sam
even,
Tingle.
Yeah, even Dave Charlton raced in the Gunston colours at one stage. Just
That was
beautiful.
the first ever cigarette company advertising in Formula One.
Yeah.
And then John Player,
JPS, yes, of course. Well, that then is the top 10, and let's give you the lineup as they go through. There it is then. Franco Scribanti is the man who takes it then, 42.196 seconds. Ian Schofield did clock the second fastest time, and there it is. Look at those times as we come through. 45.433 for Schofield in that beautifully turned out vehicle of his, the Ford BDG March, and it is the 77B. Peter Jenkins settles for third place then. That's race car number 6 with that Chevron Ford with his. Andre Besaidnout in that lovely Porsche in the fourth place, and Graham Nathan, who eventually slips one to the men in front of him because he finished fourth fastest in qualifying. But that's the top 5 as it ends up. Roger, magnificent to see.
Good stuff, and close. And I think Scribanti is going to be always hard to beat. He's won it 3-4 times. I mean, he's so well prepared. You just heard that car fly, perfect start, everything works. And he does have his troubles. He had one not going so well last year. So Arnold, that's it for the day, and there he is, Franco Scribanti, what they call the classic car conqueror, and he's done it once again in cars that were built in the 70s. It's unreal, and those are good times.
Unbelievable to see. So Scribanti, of course, did set the early benchmark for the Jaguar Samola Hill Climb with that beautifully prepared 1970 Chevron B19 of his, and he's just continued it all day long, and he is one of the darlings of the Jaguar Samola Hill Climb. And this, of course, the 9th edition of it. As part of the famous Scribanti racing dynasty, Franco is as fiercely competitive as they come. And, of course, you would have worked with his old man in the old days, and a doyen. Yeah, absolute doyen of
he's
motor
come
racing.
down 0.6 of a second from his previous. He was 42.7 last year, so he's in that same car, he's actually come down. Now, his father actually, Aldo, I think it was, but anyway, he built the circuit in PE, and he was a road builder, as they all are there in engineering. You've got to have Scribantis in South African motor racing. You've got to have Schecters, and you've got to have Thunderbird. We've still got it.
And the odd de Villiers every now and then.
Oh, he's another icon. Oh, Janelle is just unreal. I mean, he's a hero in South America. When they see Janelle, he's the boy. And when they hear as they call it in South America, the Heliuxes come. Have you ever heard those cars in a row?
Unbelievable.
They sound angry when they come across the country. Oh, they're fantastic. They're really good.
So the pits now is the place to be, because they'll be celebrating in there for the top 3, Scribanti, Schofield and Jenkins, and Besaidnout and Nathan just finishing off the podium. So we really have enjoyed your company, and for Arnold Chats, who was our first in-studio guest, then followed by the man who organizes this, Ian Shrewsbury, as we take a look at the lineup as they go up there, down there one more time rather, to come and take the accolades. And the man who's with me, Roger McCleary. Roger, it was such a pleasure to have you with us. I'm sure we're going to ask you to pop in again with us a little later on over the weekend.
Such a pleasure. Last week with you.
Likewise, and I look forward to your company again tomorrow. Look forward to having you with us again tomorrow as well, so please make a note of it, because tomorrow it is a very busy day. It's practices 1 through to 5. 5 practice finishes at 2 o'clock. Qualifying round 1 is at 3, and qualifying round 2 is at 4 o'clock. We look forward to your company. So on behalf of our whole crew and Jaguar, it's been our great pleasure to host you. I'm Arnold Gert saying thanks for watching.